cool as a cucumber. Cool here means imperturbable, whatever the heck it is, rather than low in temperature, although the simile is formed by alluding to the coldness of cucumbers, which, being mostly water, are cool to the touch.
Daddy wasn't fighting a powwow. Daddy wasn't fighting a powwow. I love my little cat. I'm very fond of that. I'd rather have a big bow, 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 bow.
Hello and welcome to the Mochiverse. I'm Linette.
And I'm Skip.
And imperturbable?
Imperturbable. Yeah,
That's a good
it.
word.
There you go. Okay. Cool as a cucumber is one of those things that everybody knows when you say it what they mean.
Right.
It's like it's a quaint idiomatic expression.
Sure.
It has a lot of history to it. It's simple
Yeah.
and easy. It comes, probably, back as far as the 17th century England to now its modern usage. You link it to personality traits,
Right.
like extroversion, agreeableness, emotional stability.
All those things I
like,
have none of.
yeah, there you go. These people that, it's the people that are more outgoing, sociable, emotionally resilient, that kind of stuff. It's like, hey, he's a cool character, and he's as cool as a cucumber.
That's cool.
It's
Yeah.
just, it really isn't. It's in modern language, it's even though it's been around for quite a few years, and it really hasn't changed in terms of the meaning. You refer to James Bond as suave and sophisticated, and it just transcends through genres and generations.
That is interesting. And as you're talking about that, I looked it up because I was curious. Because you remember learning that celery wasn't around for a super long time. Do you know how long people have been cultivating cucumbers?
Probably for a long time. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like Mesopotamia and like ancient
Mesopotamia.
Egypt.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? An English staple is, and I've heard of this, is cucumber sandwiches.
Oh, they're really good. Yes.
Mm.
They're not like a sandwich you would think of eating a sandwich like we eat a sandwich, but it's
Right.
more like those little tiny finger sandwiches that are like,
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
yeah, and
Okay.
it's like cucumber and usually like some sort of spread. You've seen them on period television shows, basically little teeny tiny triangles of
Oh, yes. Finger
cr-
food. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
finger food tea. It was like a tea sandwich. And it's
Mhm.
just
Okay.
cucumbers with like either butter or cream cheese. And it's just layered. Nothing, maybe salt and pepper. And then you slice them really thinly. It is actually very good with cream cheese, like just a nice little snack.
I imagine it can be kind of a refreshing
Yeah.
type snack to have. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And
Um,
I've made it a couple of times. It's not quite the same flavor, but that cucumber salad that I make in the summer, where you slice the cucumber super, super thin and you have like a vinegary, sugary
oh
sort of
yeah.
dressing
Okay.
with it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
dill and everything. Oh, so good.
Probably because of its high water content, they don't last very long when you buy them.
Yeah.
So you got to eat them up rather quickly. We tend to get is it the Italian cucumber, the long, thin one? Is that
The
what it is?
English cucumber is the
Oh,
long,
English,
thin
is it
one.
English? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, because we tend to get that one as opposed to, like a package of cucumbers, because generally speaking, like I said, they just don't last very long. And that's got to be because of the high water
Yeah, water
content.
content. Well, I used to actually do the opposite. I would buy the package of the little tiny ones
Hmm.
because basically they start to go bad once you cut them. I mean, they'll go bad anyway if you leave them long enough, but like they'll go bad quicker after you cut them. And
Right,
I'm not going to use a whole cucumber in like a sandwich, for instance.
right.
So I'll get the little tiny ones, and usually I can make that last about a week, little over a week if I just use like one a day or whatever. Just cut it up like that.
Yeah, I cut it up like you said, vinegar or even an Italian dressing or something
Hmm.
like that.
Well, when I make my sandwiches, I make them pretty simple for work. I just make like either little wraps or like a little bit of protein with like a little bit of something green. And
Mhm.
lettuce is pointless to me to have in the house because I don't eat enough lettuce. And so I used to either have spinach or I would have cucumbers and I would thinly slice them and put it on the sandwich with it. And it's like a really nice texture to have on like cold cuts with cheese. You just have like a little bit of turkey, a little bit of cheese, and
Mhm.
some sliced cucumber with like honey mustard. It's very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I'm hungry. I want to have it for lunch.
It's interesting, that when I saw it, I was just saying, okay, maybe this would be an interesting one to talk about.
It
Uh,
is.
when you say that terminology, you immediately think of, somebody that's just cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
And I thought I saw somewhere, and maybe I just with my research, that someone somewhere along the line used to put cucumbers on their head to keep them cool. I don't know if that was just.
Well, you put slices on your eyes to do like
Yeah, I've seen
self-care.
that. Yeah, but having it, like under your hat or something like that. I'm not sure why what makes me say that, because I don't have it written down here, but I might have seen it in all my research. And a lot of the research you do, I don't know if you find this, is that you get to these certain sites, you stop reading, and then they get you a point where it puts a pop-up in
Oh
front
yeah.
of you,
Oh
making
yeah.
you join their site, or not that I'm against that, but that's not the purpose of my research.
Yeah, that's why you got to go to like Google Scholar if you want to get
Hmm.
really into research or like there's a few sites that are more agreeable when it comes to the kind of stuff we talk about. And certainly my first jumping point to get like basic information is Wikipedia. And
Hmm.
then they have a lot of like different sources that you can at the bottom of their, when they list their sources, you can kind of go to those. And there's usually articles and things. It just depends on what kind of information you're looking for. Sometimes you do, though, end up on those dumb sites with like a bunch of
Yeah,
pop ups and ads because you're looking for
yeah,
funny trivia stuff.
yeah. And it's, to me, it's more like, as I read through these articles and stuff, I find some little tidbit that
Mhm.
makes it a little more fascinating to talk about, rather than the usual, when someone says cool as a cucumber, or whatever you want to talk about, whatever idiom you want to talk about is, we all kind of understand it, but then when you get this little bit of a quirky trivia that contributes to a different understanding of specific saying. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's what fascinates me. I don't know if it fascinates anybody else, but
Well, hope the 5 people who listen are fascinated. I keep getting at least 5 downloads every episode. It's probably a computer. It's probably not even a
you're
person.
talking 5 or 500.
5. We have never seen 500. The most we've seen, I think, is 36 or something like that.
Well, maybe we could get them interested here. So when
Yeah.
we start
Yeah, we
talking,
got good stuff today, folks.
yeah,
Sorry. They're like, I wonder
yeah,
why they don't listen. We're just talking to each other.
that's right. Yeah. In Yukon, Canada,
Mhm.
there's a hair freezing contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's held in the Takini Hot Springs during the winter months. They get to wet their hair and sculpt it into wild, frozen shapes. Competing for the most creative hairstyle. That must be interesting. I'd like to see some pictures of that.
Yeah. I wonder if they do like the beards too.
It could be, yeah, it could
Yeah.
be. I personally don't grow my hair that long, but
No.
there is. I remember, like, from the '60s and '70s, and a lot of the pictures you see where they got the big high bun. As a matter of fact, I think the gal that I went to the prom with had hers way up.
Oh, yeah.
She had
Yep.
she had nice long hair, which is like, I always felt like it looked better down than up, but that was the style of the
It,
time.
it was definitely the style with the beehives and everything like that.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
remember I remember being a kid, and of course, I always went out with wet hair in the morning.
Hmm.
But I always thought it was really cool to like stand at the bus stop when it was cold outside and like my hair would be frozen and I would like crunch it, and separate it.
Well, see, you would have fit in perfectly.
I would have. Yeah, and I do think we did touch on that briefly in a really early episode. You remember when we were talking about the weird sports?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It could be. It could. Yeah, that would make sense. There would have been there, with the wife tossing and the baby throwing and all that.
Frog. The poor frogs. You wanted to just throw everything, just frog throwing.
Oh, that's a guy thing, probably.
It is. You just want to
So they
throw it.
got this other thing. It's like another interesting one. I don't know if you ever heard of this one. It's in Port Lincoln, Australia. It's the Tunarama Festival,
Oh,
and they have the sport is tuna tossing, where participants compete to throw a frozen tuna at the furthest distance.
that must be really hard. You know how big those are?
They're big, yeah, and it makes me wonder. I didn't see any details, although I should have looked into it in more depth to see if there's a record, for the longest tuna toss.
The
So
longest tuna. Well, you know what? I will look at that right
while we
now.
look it up, there you go. That I yeah, it's just the tuna toss. I mean, really, seriously. But it like tuna, like you said, they're big.
122.1 feet.
Wow, that's
And the guy who did it was a former Olympic hammer thrower.
okay. This makes sense. Yeah, that would be the kind of guy that would do it.
Eh,
You probably grab it by the tail and swing it around and toss it that way. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And it was a 22-pound tuna.
20. Well, yeah. Hmm. Well, there you go. I
Wow,
should have.
there, see?
I should have went. I should have went a little further with that. Um, there's another one. Is in Catalonia, Spain. They have the Caga Festival. Boy, my Spanish is terrible. It involves a wooden log adorned with a painted face and a red hat. The children feed the log in the days leading up to Christmas, and then they hit it with sticks to make it poop out presents.
I
I
was
don't know.
gonna say that word cagatillo. That's the first part of it is poop. Yeah, caga.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, and they poop out presents.
The
What kind of
pooping log.
presents? I I shudder to think.
I'm looking at pictures. It's really cute. They put like a smiley face on him.
Mhm.
And they beat the log with sticks, demanding that it poop treats. The Spanish speaking countries, they have a very healthy relationship with poop, I guess, because
I
do you know, do you know that I don't know if it's Spain. I think it might be Spain, nativity sets, right? Uh, and nativity sets are different from country to country. Sometimes it's just, Jesus, Mary and Joseph and some wise men, maybe. And
yeah.
sometimes, there's some animals, different
Mhm.
kinds of animals, depending on what you think about history and what you think about what happened there. You got some cows, sheep, but there's camels sometimes, and they're just all together in the same country, I guess. Um, and then of course there's the guy, people put like little Yoda figurines and stuff in
Yeah.
their nativity sets. But I think it's in Spain or at least in Spanish speaking countries, they have a little dude that they put in their nativity sets who's squatting and pooping.
Well,
Yeah.
guess they have a healthy relationship. Yeah, it's like they also have a healthy relationship with well, I don't know if it's healthy with the tomato tossing thing. That's a
Right.
Spanish thing too. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's popular in Catalonia, other
Mhm.
parts of Spain and southern France. And he's usually like hidden in a corner and it symbolizes luck and prosperity, I guess. It's been in people's nativity sets since the 18th century.
Well,
He's believed to fertilize the earth.
there we go.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah, that is
That's
cute. Yeah,
that's so
it's
funny.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. It's just a crazy thing. When I saw it, I says, "Okay, this has got to be a little bit different than the quick explanation they had." Then they have a vegetarian festival in Phuket, Thailand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a 9 day event where they practice strict vegetarianism and engage in extreme acts of, which is seems like a weird thing to offshoot, extreme acts of body piercing and self mutilation.
Oh.
Supposedly, it purifies the soul and brings good fortune. Don't know how that would track.
Well, it's true. There's a lot of so piercing has a long history in a lot of cultures, and yes, that if you do think about it, it does make sense. A lot of cultures that do piercings and tattoos and things like that, it does have to do with spiritual reasons and it does have to do with body purification. Sort of like how the Chinese do like acupuncture
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
to sort of help ailments and to help your body achieve like good balance and things like that. So, like, there's a lot of cultures in history everywhere that have done like piercings for that reason. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess you could, tie that in with doing, tattoos and stuff too.
Hmm.
So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and tattoos are super super old. I mean, they found. I remember how excited they were when they found those. Those the bog bodies, the bog mummies that they found, like in peat bogs, and they were
Yeah.
so well preserved because of the peat
Oh, yeah.
uh, that you could see their skin still, and you could see so much detail that. And most of those people had really elaborate tattoos, and you
Mhm.
wonder. I mean, because they know how old those bodies are.
Yeah, it, it it's always like my thing when I think about some of these elaborate tattoos is it's fine when you're young, but when you get older, what are they going to look like?
Well, the
You know,
tattoo, well, that's true, but tattoo technology is much better now than it used to be. They
I'm
last a
sure it
lot
is.
longer. They
Yeah.
know exactly the depth to put the ink, and the inks are better
Hmm.
um, because they're using different kinds of needles than they used to use back in the old days, and
Hmm.
the tattoos don't age badly like they used to. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of tattoos in ancient cultures were used for healing purposes, just
Hmm.
much the same way, like I said, like acupuncture and acupressure were used.
Right.
They would put a tattoo on an area that needed healing, which is
Yeah.
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. This one here, I don't know if we covered it before, the toe wrestling championships, and
Yes.
had
Yeah,
I
that was in the
covered?
weird sports thing too. The
Yeah,
guy
I think
who's
we did. I think we did cover that one.
broke
So
his toe or whatever in the thing.
never mind that. Yeah, I can't imagine that. In Eureka, Nevada, it's unlawful for men with mustaches to kiss women, as is considered unhygienic.
Well, yeah. I mean, nowadays dudes take really good care of their beards and mustaches,
Mhm.
but like, I don't think it was always that way.
Well, yeah, probably not. But yeah, I think when you look back in the 1800s, just all men had some kind of body, uh,
Yeah.
not body hair, but facial hair of some kind or other, and these elaborate mustaches that they had and beards.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of products back then too. Yeah. Victorian times they did that a lot. Yeah, facial hair is one of those things that comes and goes for
Hmm.
cultural reasons, for religious reasons, for political reasons, like
Yeah.
and sometimes it's as stupid as the person in charge can't grow a beard, so he decides that nobody's going to have a beard. It's like one of those kind of things.
Well, yeah, it's funny. Is it's certainly in the military service I was in, uh, they would make you shave. You couldn't have peach fuzz. Now, if you think about it, there's always the argument that if you have peach fuzz and you never shave, you'll always have peach fuzz.
Right.
And the argument against shaving is that you cause the hair to grow by trimming it back. But they made people, they make you shave. And it's funny. I think back when I think about that is that I remember that there was an uncle who was really a step uncle that taught me to shave. And I remember my dad being very upset that he didn't have the opportunity to teach me to shave.
Oh.
He was really
Yeah.
pissed off at him, and it's just like, that was my job. I was supposed to teach you to shave.
Oh boy.
Uh, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, like, I remember somebody else was the first person when I was riding a bike.
Mhm.
It was actually Tina's dad.
Yeah.
Was the
Yeah.
first person who let go when I was riding a bike.
Mm.
And then when Bev first rode a bike without somebody holding on, it was somebody, not me. And I was like a little bit like, about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, I mean, because you only get that opportunity one time, so that's why it's like, you know,
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like the first steps and stuff like that,
yeah,
although it's not as significant as the first steps, but it is significant. I remember that riding a bike, my cousin Danny taught me to ride a bike,
yeah,
and holding on to the seat, and then I was you're too naive to to understand that they can't run behind you when you're riding a bike and hold on
right.
to the seat the whole time. So eventually, you're on your own. You don't even realize it. And some
Every
people, when
time,
they realize it, they end up falling.
yes, it's the funniest thing. It's everybody's experience riding a bike for the first time is they all of a sudden realize the person isn't there anymore
Mm-hmm.
and they're
Yep.
doing it.
Yep.
And I think it didn't happen to me the first time because I realized that somebody wasn't there and I just kept going. But the second time, I did look back and notice somebody wasn't there, and I did go into a tree. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. What happens is you lose, even if even if you still had your balance by the by the turning portion, you end up wobbling back and
Yeah.
forth, and even if you didn't run into a tree, you would certainly fall down. Uh, and depending on your determination, whether you would keep going or just
I
say,
know.
"Okay,
I'm
that's
surprised
enough
I
for
did
me."
because I'm the kind of person to never do it again once I get hurt
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah,
I'm surprised I ever drove again after my car accident, that
yeah.
time.
Well, it can be like that. That there's I recall an incident in I was living in New Hampshire, and I I pulled out into traffic, and there was like a long distance between the car that was coming and myself, and this person was like all of a sudden beeping and riding their horn and making all kinds of noise about it. And I'm saying,
Yeah.
I didn't cut you off. So I pulled over, and your mother was pretty upset that I was going to talk to this person. But it turned out the person had had an accident. And as soon as somebody got in front of her, she was like pissed off, panicked, whatever it
Right.
was.
Right.
And I took a few minutes to calm her down and say, I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I knew I didn't cut her off like I've been cut off in the past, and every one of us gets cut off
Oh,
at
yeah.
some point by someone that goes like, you seriously, so you can understand. I can understand what happened with that. That's interesting. I segued into that.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, in Thailand, it's illegal to step on money.
Oh,
As yeah, they see it as a sign of disrespect towards the country's monarchy, whose images appear in the country on the currency.
right.
Yeah,
Right. That's kind of like, like stepping on a flag for them.
yeah, yep. So pretty much,
That makes sense. That makes sense.
in I got one more, then you can drop into something. In
Yeah.
Oklahoma, it's against the law to make ugly faces at dogs, as it was it was believed that it would cause the dog to become more aggressive and agitated.
Well, yeah. Don't tease the dogs.
That's it's only funny if you the story I'm going to tell you. It's only funny if you're there, but maybe you can appreciate it. Is that my dog? We run into a pack of dogs all the time, same dog, and they know each other and stuff like that. So we're coming up the street this morning, and understandably, it's very cold,
Mhm.
and Barkley had a coat on, and this other dog had a coat on, and Barkley stopped in his tracks and is looking at the dog like typically he would look at someone like this, like I don't know this.
Yeah.
And as we got closer, I said to the owner, I said to Barkley, I says, "What's the matter, Barkley? Don't you recognize a dog with clothes on?" You know,
It's
and
true.
the owner says, "Then that it's funny."
I mean, it's true. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was actually talking about that the other day. I was talking about how much you've changed with dogs
Mhm.
because, I remember you had that attitude of like, you know, a dog can only be a big dog and a dog is a man's animal and I'm not going to put any kind of like adornments on my dog. And then as soon as you got Shadow, you're like, "Oh, he's got a little bomber jacket and we got a raincoat for him and he's in daycare."
And I don't know whether it was true or not, but I always felt like the first time we put a raincoat on him, he looked a little embarrassed. So you'd be like, seriously. And it's yeah. And I think I've told you the story is like my on this story about sizes of dogs. My uncle was a big believer, rah, 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 baby,
Yeah.
man's dog. And his wife ended up getting a small dog, which is a Yorkie, I
Oh yeah.
believe. And one day he was always making this big deal about dogs and stuff, sizes of dogs. So he's out one day, he's out walking, and he's walking both the dogs, and one of my brothers comes up upon him, and his wife had put a pink bow on the Yorkie. I can tell you that my uncle didn't live that down for quite a while. So
Oh my goodness. It's
yeah,
silly. It's so silly, isn't it?
it is pretty much. And I would say that it's a fairly common. Actually, I'm not the only one that ever said it. That there's these real small dogs are not real dogs,
Yeah.
uh, and there is a point when some of them are so small, it's like, really, are
Yeah, they
these
can't even do anything. Yeah.
yeah,
Y-
it's like you carry them in your pocket, you get so small.
Yeah, it is funny when you think about the utility in the past of those kinds of dogs and
Mhm.
you never really thought they were good for anything, but actually like those like terriers
Mhm.
were really good assistants for hunting because especially depending on what you were hunting,
Yep.
especially like fox and stuff like that. They could get into the little holes. I mean, rat terriers were there to get the rats, you
Well,
know.
so were Yorkies. I mean, that
Yeah,
was their original job, and it's funny. And if you ever get to see this on Facebook, they got these. Have you seen the talking dogs on Facebook?
probably.
Oh, there's these two dogs, and I can't remember the two dogs' names, but these two dogs that are one's a small boxer, and the other's a golden,
Uh,
and they talk about you know their owners and stuff like this, but they had this Yorkie on, and the Yorkie had uh, English accent. He
oh, of
says,
course, yeah.
"I'm from Yorkshire,
I'm from Yorkshire.
I'm
Yeah.
sophisticated, and it was so funny to listen to it, and they were giving it crap about its size, and he says, "I'll have you know that in the past, I chased rats. That was my job. Have you ever chased a rat? It was so funny. You had to see it they just really do a good job with it. So
Well, it's funny because the Yorkshire accent is not a posh accent, although because
yeah,
Yorkshire is like up north, it's kind of like our down south.
yeah,
Although if this Yorkshire Terrier was living on an estate, it probably did speak like its owners, who just happened to
yeah,
have
exactly.
land in Yorkshire but did not have a Yorkshire accent. Yeah, so
Right.
that makes sense.
It was sort of funny because you're right. I didn't think the accent was like that because
Yeah.
usually they get the posh accent, like you said. And the way I look at the posh accents, I can actually understand what they're saying. So,
Well,
uh,
yes, that's because yeah. So received pronunciation for the English accent was the standard on the BBC. Actually, it was the rule
mhm.
for years and years and years, and it was called RP, and that is what the royal house uses when they speak a received pronunciation, uh,
Yeah.
and it is considered to be, especially for television, more understandable. But what's really nice is that they've gotten away from it over the years. And now you've got people with Scottish accents on the news and Irish accents on the news and things like that.
Yeah, you do. And I was recently watching one series, and it's on Prime. It's called The Girlfriend. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
Mm.
at any rate, and the every one of them had that posh accent, except for the mother of one of the girls who actually ran a butchery, which honestly, it made sense that she didn't have the posh accent, you
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, and it was hard at times. It was hard to understand her, but
My first thing is a list. And this term I had never heard before. These are called pleonasms. Sounds like an illness. But a pleonasm is a phrase that's redundant. Okay.
okay,
And so we use an awful lot of these without really realizing it. And there are a lot of people who will be pedantic about it and be like, you really shouldn't use that because it's redundant.
mm-hmm.
But nowadays we use it just to be interesting, to have more interesting speech, or to just like emphasize what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So an example of a pleonasm would be like a free gift, right? So all
Mm-hmm.
gifts are free. They give it to somebody, it's free. But
Right,
you say it's a free gift, and we use that all the time, even though it's redundant.
yeah,
Um, Using the phrase like "I saw it with my own eyes" is redundant.
yeah, yeah,
Safe haven, final results, mass exodus, which is I didn't occur to me, but yes, um, added bonus, new innovation, those kinds of things. Tuna fish, that's a redundancy.
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't really have to say it's tuna fish. It's not tuna
You just
chicken.
say tuna. Yeah,
Yeah, just say
exactly.
tuna. An armed gunman, a difficult dilemma, fellow colleagues. But some of the main ones that people really get ticked off about online anyway is PIN number and ATM machine.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because the PIN number, the N stands for number, and ATM machine, the M stands for machine. So you don't have to say ATM machine. You can just say ATM, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
a couple more: unexpected surprise, foreign imports, regular routine, and true facts. And then there are some people who are arguing about this one, but I get it. Chai tea,
Hmm.
because chai is a word for tea.
Yeah, it's funny that is such a an embedded part of our culture and how we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and as we were talking, as you were talking about it, it makes me think that it's like it's like you feel like you want to make it's an incomplete explanation if you use an abbreviation,
Right.
right?
Right.
And yeah, so you say ATM, which is I say I'm going to the ATM, but you go to the ATM machine, and you say, okay, just in case you don't know what that abbreviation means.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just my guess as to how
Why
we
we do
start,
it. Yeah.
how we do it. Yeah.
And then another related example, we do this a lot in place names, which is actually really funny. So, like the Sahara Desert. So,
Mhm.
the word Sahara is Arabic for desert. So, really, it's desert. And Mississippi River, same thing. Uh, the word Mississippi is derived from an Algonquin word meaning big river. So, it's Big River. La Brea Tar Pits. Brea is Spanish for tar, so when you're saying La Brea Tar Pits, you're saying the Tar Pits.
Well, yeah, and back to what I said. Now, to see that's a different spin on it.
Yeah,
It's like knowing we don't always know the original place that a word came from.
right.
And perhaps it's like I said earlier, it's different. It's like it's an offshoot of what I said about abbreviations,
Mm-hmm.
where yeah, we know what the La Brea Tar Pits is, but
Right.
it's we
We've
don't
given
know
it a
that
name, yeah,
given it
because
a
we took,
name. So the
yeah,
name, so the look, when I look at that, I'm thinking, okay, you just naming the place, okay,
right.
as opposed to a regular tar pit. What's a regular tar pit? Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of like that myth, and it's sort of a good way of making fun of well, European people and white
yeah,
people, because it's like that story about the kangaroo. I don't know if it's true. I think somebody said it was a myth, but allegedly, uh, you know, some colonizer went up to a native in Australia and said, "What's that animal?" And he said kangaroo, and what it really means is I don't know. But I don't know if that's actually true. I didn't do the research on that. But yeah, we do a lot of it with place names because because colonizers most of the time they just like the sound of the word. And
yeah,
like
yeah,
Mount Kilimanjaro is the same thing. It means mountain. So,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's just I think a lot of times to look at it. Personally, I look at it as it's uh, it's like a place,
yeah,
and Rocky Mountains.
right.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that one makes more sense. But
yeah,
yes. Um
yeah. But with the mountain is not going to be rocky.
Most of the time it is, yes.
Yeah, so, and it's a sandy mountain. Okay,
The
go
Sandy
ahead.
Mountains. It's not going to be a very big mountain, but it's yeah, um, yeah. So that's my first thing were those.
Hmm.
Um, my next one is a little more fun, and it actually reminds me of a podcast that I listened to. I highly recommend this podcast to anybody who just wants a little bit of entertainment. The podcast is called Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet, and basically they read out 1-star reviews with very dramatic sort of uh, music underneath, and they read them in a dramatic fashion to make it sound like this is the worst thing that ever happened to anybody. I hated this beach. The water was too wet and the beach was too sandy, kind of thing. When people are complaining about stupid things. So I have some 1-star reviews. Uh, and I do not have specifics on where these reviews were, whether they were Amazon or Yelp or whatever. But I just grabbed a few funny 1-star reviews. Um, the first one was a 1-star review of a Lego set. And the person said, "My Lego set was broken when I opened it."
Okay.
This was on a product that's used in hunting. Uh, it's actually like a bottle of wolf urine, and they use it to repel deer. Um, the reviewer says in all caps, "Very bitter taste. I was barely able to get through a sip before I felt sick." Like, do you not read the outside of a bottle before you drink it? That's what I'm
Yeah.
wondering. Um, the next one is a set of weights. Weighs too much. Yeah. Um, Martha's Vineyard. Somebody reviewed Martha's Vineyard, probably on Google.
Okay.
Um, I met nobody named Martha that owned a vineyard. Waste of my time. This one was very cute, but also very dark. This is on a pasta recipe. You know how, like, when you have a recipe and at the end, people make comments at the end of it?
Yep.
Um, there's two. The first one was, "My wife left me because I made this for her mother. I also slept with her sister. I lost the custody battle and she took the kids because of this stupid recipe." Like, well, I don't know about
Okay.
that. And then the second one about the recipe, this is a common joke. And it's actually, you see this on every recipe. Whenever you read a recipe thing online and after you read it, you go to the comments on the bottom, there's always some doofus who does this. But this is an example. So the person says, "I didn't have sugar, so I added a few drops of peppermint extract. When they came out of the oven, the peppermint flavor was overwhelmed, as I see, the oats and the peanut butter, and they were bland. Will not make again." So you take this recipe and you're like, yeah, I substituted this for this. I substituted that for that. And it's not very good. This
Yeah.
recipe sucks. Like, no, actually.
Uh,
Um, this is a review of a retail store. My husband and I have shopped here consistently for years, but we will use a different location from now on. They will literally lock the doors right in your face if you show up 2 minutes after closing.
audacity, the
The
unmitigated
audacity,
gall.
right? Um, this is a review probably on Amazon for Jenga, the game Jenga. Good game to play with the grandkids. Only problem is that it falls over a lot and gets frustrating. Yeah. There's actually a funny set of commercials right now, and they may actually be Amazon commercials, but it's Benedict Cumberbatch reading 5-star reviews, like really super dramatically.
Oh yeah.
It's so good. We've watched like 3 or 4 of them now. It's just so funny. But anyway, yeah, so those are some 1-star reviews. And once again, I will highly recommend the podcast Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet because it is so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
These people, you just realize people complain about the stupidest things,
Oh yeah.
and they all sound the same. They're all assholes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, that I can't think of anything specifically now, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think probably to me it can be pretty irritating. I think I've talked about this before. There's a site called Nextdoor,
Hmm.
and these people will complain and just make these statements that'd be like so absurd,
Yeah.
uh, and you're like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about,
Right.
like not understanding. And this is sort of to me, it doesn't make sense when you buy a piece of property, you buy a house, particularly if you buy a house, it's a huge investment. And one of the things that you have to understand right from the get-go, if you're anywhere savvy at all, is what all the costs are,
Right.
and the cost to expect. And you know, they'll first get in, like, for example, like the first year, your property taxes, there's a carryover from the previous owner,
Right.
and their taxes were based on the price that they bought the house at. And your taxes, by the way, all your paperwork says exactly what your
Hmm.
taxes are going to be. And when you find your taxes, oh, that's pretty low. That's good. That's a lot better than I thought it was, and never even question it. And then the next year get very upset because your taxes are triple what
Right.
you originally thought. And the logic is, to me, it's like, it's there. If you read it, it's
Hmm.
there. And you shouldn't go into anything financial without knowing all your total costs. If and so there's what you call no surprises.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, that's an example that requires a little bit of what you call common sense, but you still, when you make a house is a very big financial commitment.
Right.
The other one, which is my favorite, not my favorite, my complaint, is that someone says that their insurance tripled,
Mm.
and it's like, why is their insurance tripled? They said my roof is too old, needs to be replaced. If I don't replace it, this is what my insurance is going to be.
Hmm.
Duh, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, they didn't say that before. Well, it wasn't as
Yeah,
old before.
exactly. Well, yeah, and the other one, which I find, by the way, you live in Florida, you find this happening, is that when you own a home, one of the things in Florida is that there's general insurance for damage.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's part of just about every, well, no, every Florida insurance policy is the hurricane coverage.
Right.
And the hurricane coverage is different in that it says very clearly it's a percentage that's not the same as every other kind of coverage.
Right.
And you have a deductible, and the deductible is usually, if your normal deductible is $1,000, your deductible for hurricane coverage is $3,500.
Yeah.
And when I see somebody complaining about that,
Mm-hmm.
I say, there's a policy that you got when you bought your house.
Yeah.
It's hurricane coverage, and it clearly says that. Look at it, see what it is. So that's those kind of things. When I hear those complaints, and you say, okay, you should have looked at it. And the other, this is a third, I'm getting on a run here, it's talking about property, is that one of the things in a lot of communities that people don't realize is that all around your property, there are easements.
Yeah.
And the easements are there so that the local government, has the, can, if the electrical has to be dealt with, or there's water supply has to be dealt with, and they have the right to come in and work on that without you saying anything about it.
I thought you coming out with a shotgun or whatever.
Right. And the thing that people don't understand is that you have to maintain that whole area, even though you don't own it.
Right.
And folks will be under the impression that they own that and they pay taxes on it. Well, they pay taxes, but not on the property. They only pay taxes on their property.
Right.
And I've always argued that if you're walking on that 20-foot easement, that theoretically people don't have a right to complain about it.
Yeah.
Okay. If your dog pees on that 20-foot easement, that's not their property.
Oh, yeah.
Now, as a responsible dog owner, if you pee and poop on it, not so much pee, but if you poop on it, you have to pick it up. And that's all that should be required. So anyway, enough of that one.
No, I
Okay.
understand completely. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's, but my point is, when I see people complaining about something, that if you use your head for more than a hat rack, hey, there's another one. If you use your head for more than a hat rack, then you just back off on the explanation. I remember that you get into a discussion with someone and it isn't really a discussion. And they'd say, well, I talked to the whatever, and I own all this. Well, no, you don't.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and it's kind of like the surprises that people get with their health, with their like prescription insurance, that I go through. And that's a little different because that can change whether or not you wanted it to or not.
right.
But the difference there, or the similarity there, I should say, is kind of touching on what you said about reading ahead. I mean, you can't change if health insurance prices have gone up.
Yeah.
That's usually not something you can predict or change or do anything about. You
Right.
can, however, read the correspondence that comes to you, the thousands of letters that the insurance company sends you, warning you that next year this medicine isn't going to be covered, that medicine isn't going to be covered,
Right.
or you're going to have a deductible.
Right.
Because January is the month of 90% of people saying, I don't have a deductible. Why does it cost so much? Last month it was only $30. Now it's $300. Oh, it's your deductible. Yeah, but I don't have that. Okay. Do you want to call your insurance? Okay. They call their insurance and they say, oh, they're telling me I have a deductible. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because there's one of my neighbors that we try to avoid this discussion with them because they're about health insurance. And recently they changed their health insurance because our health insurance changed to, you have to get a referral for a specialist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And where we didn't have to get it before. Now, if you change based on that one issue, you have to look at overall what the other issues are.
Right. Because other things could happen that you maybe didn't check. Yeah.
Right. But the the way I look at it is you have to navigate the coverage. And if you think about it, it just adding to the cost of insurance, if you want to take that position, adding to the cost of insurance is having the ability to unlimitedly go to specialists.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with specialists, they'll keep you coming back, even though when you first get referred to them, there was a suspicion of a problem, but you don't have that problem.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for you to keep going to them.
Right.
And their way is looking at to rebuild. So when you look at a referral is a way to control that kind of abuse, because we all want to, abuse adds to the cost of the insurance. So they change the insurance policies to because of one thing. Now there's got to be more to it. Now the way I looked at it when I saw the change in referrals, I said, to me, it's very simple. I go to my primary care, I get a referral. The referral is for the whole year. End of discussion. If it's needed, fine, you get a referral the next year. It's simple as that. It's a paperwork issue. It's navigating the system, and that's what you really have to understand. It's kind of like when you move into a 55 plus community or any community that has an association. A lot of times people don't look at the rules and regulations.
Right.
And then they get surprised when they get nicked on violating the rule and regulation. They say, well, I didn't know that. And you'd say, nah, you have rules and regulations and you were given a copy of that.
Yeah.
So end of discussion. And you basically have no right to do anything about it, because you agreed to it. It's a legal thing. So,
as long as all of that's up front, then the onus would be on you to read it. But it's like, it is kind of funny though. A lot of people feel like they're in a situation like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they're taking down his house to build a freeway. And he's like, I didn't have a chance to fight against this. He said, well, the paperwork has been posted for 6 months. He's like, I had to go down to a basement inside a filing cabinet, like to see the notification. Well, if it, I'm sorry, but if you can't make the effort to go and check, it's not my problem. And then, of course, the planet gets taken out by aliens who said, excuse me, but these plans to take out your planet have been posted at Alpha Centauri for 12 centuries. And if you can't be bothered to go to Alpha Centauri to look at the notice, I mean, that's not my problem.
Yeah. Well, that's like in Boston when they did the Boston Redevelopment Association Authority, I'm sorry, laid out plans that took maybe 10, 15 years to come up with.
Yeah.
And it was in the news. It was posted. People got notifications. If your property was affected by the plans, you would be notified, and you would be given the option of selling your property to Boston or having them take it over with eminent domain.
Yeah.
And I go back to what I said earlier, when it comes to something like property is a financial obligation, there's an asset, you have to understand everything about it. And to plead ignorance doesn't work. In Tuscan, Poland, the use of Winnie the Pooh, did I say it wrong?
No, that's probably fine.
Yeah. The use of Winnie the Pooh as a mascot for children's playground was banned. You know why it was banned?
Because he has no pants.
The character was, no pants.
Because he has no pants.
Right. No pants. What the hell? Donald Duck doesn't wear pants either. So that should be, banned also. Okay. So in Florida, this is a Florida thing, is against the law for unmarried women to go parachuting on Sundays, as is considered immoral.
Okay.
I think that's been repealed. So,
yeah, probably. Or just turn the other cheek.
This is a better one. This one I like. This one I read. This one I goes, okay. this is only in China, I guess only in China, probably other places. In China, it's illegal for Buddhist monks to reincarnate without government permission, as it is seen as a way to control the religious influence on politics.
Isn't that like isn't that like Marines are not allowed to die without permission?
Yeah. You do not have the authority to die.
Oh, that's good.
Anyway, that's, you know, in Canada, it's illegal to remove a bandage in public as it's considered unsanitary and unhygienic.
Yeah, kind of gross. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which I'm going to digress a little bit. Went to a horse show, the Clydesdale show. I went to
Nice.
that this year, and at the start, they sang "Oh Canada,"
Oh,
and I didn't realize that the Canadians come down to participate in these horse shows with the Clydesdales. So anyway, that's
oh, okay.
yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, these big horses riding around, you know, teams of one, two, three, four, five, and six. The 5 and 6 weren't there the day we were there, but it went up to that. And the one that I thought was most challenging was the 3 team, which I
Yeah.
said, well, and there was only, by the way, there was only one participant. And by the way, they won the trophy.
Oh,
So,
well, Yeah, Clydesdales are really cool. I mean,
yeah,
they're huge, but they're beautiful,
beautiful,
beautiful animals.
beautiful
Yeah.
horses, you know.
I love draft
And
horses in general, but yeah,
yeah,
Clydesdales are gorgeous.
yeah. And as is the case where the last time we went, they had this young, I say young, I mean, you know, I don't know how old he was, but younger than most all the other drivers. And he was he did a 1, he did a 2, and he did a 4,
Mm,
and he came in second place in all 3 events. You know,
wow.
and I was impressed. You know, it just you know, one of the things they have to do is they get the carriage or the wagon, and they have to back it up, and you would be surprised how few of them back up straight.
Yeah.
And this one kid, he backed up straight every time in each event. So even though he was young, he was well trained and
That's
probably had the
awesome.
talent for it too.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know,
My friend Melanie had draft horses. This up in
mhm,
Massachusetts, and
yeah.
she was funny. She had a bumper sticker on her car that said, "Ride a draft horse. It'll make your butt look smaller."
See, it was funny. Speaking of that, there was 2 uh, single horses that had there was an English riding
Mhm.
and a Western riding. So they
Oh yeah.
basically was an English saddle and a
Right.
Western saddle.
Right.
And all of us, 2 of us, we commented, the one with the English saddle, the girl was riding, her butt was bouncing on that saddle the whole time,
Yeah.
just the whole time. And the one in the Western saddle, no bounce at all.
English saddle is
And I'm
harder.
thinking afterwards, her butt's got to hurt after that, you know?
Yeah, it's harder. I remember that from my horseback riding days, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that Stacy will remember that.
What's it about the English saddle that causes that?
Oh, I forget now, but I do remember that you only use one-handed reins on
Mm-hmm.
English.
Yeah.
So I can imagine the balance is different. And I think there's
Yeah.
something different about the way the way it sits on the horse. I do remember it being more difficult. So it was only for like the older
Okay.
kids.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to look into that,
Well, I
but
mean,
yes.
yeah, the English saddle is small, and
Hmm.
the Western saddle is big. You know,
Yeah.
so I think I would if it's, I don't know if it's a fair comparison. It's like there was this friend of mine had a motorcycle, and I talked about, she said, you know, is this uncomfortable? He says, no, the Harleys and stuff like that, they're almost like a couch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's the style of the saddle that
Yeah.
makes it more comfortable. So
The Western saddle is heavier and it has a
mhm,
horn in the front.
right,
Um, and the English saddle is flatter. So
right.
that's probably has a lot to do with, and the fact that the English saddle is lighter and smaller, that probably has a lot to do with the bouncing, I would think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing that was impressive that I had to say was uh, this young girl came out. She had two horses. These are horses. These things weigh a ton each,
Oh, yeah.
and she was standing up riding these horses all around the arena. I was so impressed with that. I was impressed not only with her but with the horses,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like they didn't separate at all the whole time she was riding,
Yeah.
and it was pretty impressive. So
That is
anyway,
cool.
that digressed a little bit there.
That's okay.
Again,
This is a big tangent episode, folks. This is a big tangent episode.
yeah, but he is, yeah, in the Philippines, it's against the law to sing out of tune in a karaoke bar. I think it's against the law everywhere, but is this
It's
is
more fun
considered
that
a
way.
form of public nuisance. Actually, maybe it's if you sing in tune, you don't belong in a karaoke bar.
Ah, hey now. I used to
So,
do a lot of karaoke and I do sing in tune.
all right,
Uh,
there you go.
karaoke, I mean, we always gave extra encouragement to people who sang out of tune because it takes a lot of courage to get up there in front of
Oh
people.
yeah,
And
oh
I mean,
yeah.
usually it took a lot of alcohol, but it does also take courage, yes.
There was there was a there was I remember one time we had a get together, and my brother Paul and this friend of his, uh, Pinky, and they got up and the song they had to sing was Kathy's Clown, and they were so badly out of tune.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was it was really entertaining though. It was very good.
It is. It is. It's
Yeah,
fun. It's a lot of
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
All right. So my last thing are epitaphs, gravestones.
Mhm.
Um, some of these are poetic and some of these are just interesting. Some are funny. The first one I want to say is my favorite celebrity gravestone. And I've mentioned this many times to many people, but my favorite one is Jack Lemmon because literally on his grave it says Jack Lemmon in like the credits of one of his films.
Cool.
I just think it was very clever and very
Yeah,
cute and also, you have to think about it for a second.
yep.
But yeah, so this isn't all this most of these are poetic ones or funny ones, but I just love these. So anyway, the first one is Uncle Walter loved to spend. He had no money in the end, but with many a whiskey and many a wife, he really did enjoy his life.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Um, this one is better done in writing, but I'll try. It's in Norfolk, England. And this is a gentleman whose last name was spelled Knott. Okay. So here lies the man who was not born. His father was not before him. He lived not and did not die, yet underneath this stone doth lie.
Hmm.
Very, very cute.
Yeah.
In Spain, there's one that says, here lies Pancrazio Juvenalis. He was a good husband, a wonderful father, but a bad electrician. This is a guy whose name was John Penny. His epitaph, this is in Wimborne, England. His epitaph reads, Reader, if cash thou art in want of any, dig 4 feet deep, and thou wilt find a penny. Another one is from Ribsford, England. This is the grave of Anna Wallace. The children of Israel wanted bread, and the Lord sent them manna. Old clerk Wallace wanted a wife, and the devil sent him Anna. Like, damn. uh, and I'll end with my favorite one, which allegedly is from a real gravestone. And this was given very generously to the movie Jaws by Robert Shaw,
Okay.
if you remember this
Yep.
from the beginning of the movie. I love this so much. And I have to try to not do Robert Shaw's voice, but it will come out a little bit.
Yep.
Here lies the body of Mary Lee, died at the age of 103. For 15 years, she kept her virginity. Not a bad record for this vicinity. And Robert Shaw said that he saw that on an Irish gravestone. And
Oh,
that's why he
okay.
remembers it.
Cool.
Now, it could be absolutely true because there's a lot of gravestones that have very funny things like this. But it
Yes.
also could be made up because Robert Shaw liked to make shit up.
Yeah. Either one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they started burying people 6 feet deep during the 1665 London plague. Just,
Oh.
yeah, they did that to stop the spread of disease. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Did you think of that when I saw the 4 foot deep one? Because that caught my attention too.
Well, I thought of that. Yeah. And I just said, okay, it's interesting how that ties in. And also that, flowers were first placed on graves. You know that tradition, you place flowers on graves?
Yeah,
The reason they started doing that was to hide the smell of decaying bodies.
yeah, that makes sense.
And probably right after that, they started burying them more than 6 feet deep or six
Right.
feet deep. Yeah.
Well, and also in the time of plague, they still had they didn't have germ theory yet.
Right.
And
Mhm.
so they still had the miasma theory of medicine, which was that illness was carried by bad smells.
Yep.
And so they would have been at that time justifiably afraid of bad smells carrying over.
And
So
that's when they
yeah,
started putting flowers. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
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 Very
I mean, it's
interesting.
probably not the origin of it, but I think it became more of a thing every time
Yeah.
people were buried. And it's like, yeah. Anyway, that's interesting.
It is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of we I could go in maybe for a future episode I'll go into some of that interesting stuff about burial rituals and
Mhm.
the things we do and the reasons we do them. I know that we probably touched on some of them, some of the little gadgets that they used to put in place to
Mhm.
prevent people from being prematurely buried. But there's a lot of very practical reasons at the time they thought were practical anyway,
Yep.
for the things we do when we bury people. So yeah, so that's
Okay.
everything I had. Did you have anything
Yeah.
else?
No, that was pretty much it. The I had a few that I didn't use, but I think to finish off with the graves thing it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense for me. I don't know if it makes sense for anybody else.
Hey, well, that's all that matters.
That's right.
All right. Well, so that's it for our trivia today, folks. If you like, send us an email, mochaverse@gmail.com. Come and see us on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else that you download podcasts, but you can rate us on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating so other people can see us and search for us online and find our show. Tell lots of people that you like the show and ask them to listen uh, because we want more people to hear.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought it would be good. And we want more people to listen to my dad's jokes that are
There
coming
you
next.
go. Ba-dum-bum, bum. If olive oil comes from olives, where does baby oil come from?
Okay, that was a Yakov Smirnoff joke back in the 80s.
There you go. And never discuss infinity with mathematicians. They can go on forever.
Yeah.
That's right. Why did the veterinarian prescribe birth control pills for dogs?
Oh, why?
It was part of an anti-litter campaign.
Cute, cute.
Yeah. So, what's it called when you drink holy water mixed with laxative?
Holy shit.
No, a religious movement. What What do you call a monk who walks everywhere in bare feet, has poor bone density, and really bad breath?
Oh, what? I
A
get it.
supercalist, fragile, mystic, hexed by halitosis.
Very good.
I knew I was going to get that wrong.
Yep.
It's just I get my words mixed anyways, but that didn't help matters.
Through the magic of editing.
That's right. Do you know why good-looking people are busier than average-looking people?
Why is that?
I'll tell you later. I'm very busy right now.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey, what's worse than a box full of snakes?
A box that used to be full of snakes.
That's right, a box that was supposed to be full of snakes.
Yeah.
Uh, do you know that you should never, ever shout into a colander
Why?
because you strain your voice?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Okay,
good.
all right.
Oh, is that
Okay.
all of them?
That's all of them.
Oh, that was
I
pretty
wasn't
good.
sure.
That was
Yeah.
short and sweet today. All right, folks, that's it for us. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.
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 Daddy wasn't finding a bow wow. Daddy wasn't finding a bow wow. I've got a little cat. I'm very fond of that. I'd rather have a pink bow wow.
Yeah.
What was that word?
In imperturbable.
Imperturbable?
Yeah, imperturbable. I
That's a
don't know
great
why I had
word.
trouble. It's a great word, imperturbable. And it's like I'm looking at it, I'm saying, what? 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 There's got to be a better word than that.
All right, ready?
Ready? Boom. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have good outtakes this time
Yeah,
around.
that's
Okay.
for sure.
All right.